Are we live?
I believe we are. Yeah, you guys go right ahead.
Welcome, everyone. We're here today to talk about the exciting upcoming Living Well with Dementia Conference, which is scheduled for September 19, 20, and 21 in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. If you've been following DAA's social media lately, you have surely seen how excited we are for this opportunity of getting together. This is a conference for everyone living with dementia and those who support people living well with dementia. It is presented in partnership between the Dementia Action Alliance and Dementia Friendly Indiana.
We encourage you to use the comment feature below this live stream to submit any question that you have about the conference, whether you're already registered to attend or not. We will be keeping an eye on your questions and do our best to answer whatever we can. And if we can't answer your question, someone from DAA will be sure to get back to you about it. To start our conversation today, we figured we would share just briefly our own personal experiences with past DAA conferences, just to give you an idea of the impact that this event has had in our community nationwide. So with that, Laurie, would you like to start by sharing your experiences?
Wow, I've been to 2 conferences and what excitement, what thrill. First off, to see people that you've been networking with, people living with dementia or care professionals, care partners that we've seen for years on Zoom as these little avatars, to see them in person and be able to hug them and say, oh my goodness, you have legs. And, oh, I thought you were 6 foot tall. You're only 4 foot tall. And just to be able to give them a hug and express how much they've meant to us over the years. And in many cases on care professionals to thank them for how much they've supported people living with dementia and DAA. The other thing is it's technology. I've come away with so much technology from the past conferences. And JR, I think we both came away with a robot kitty cat.
Yep.
Yep.
Right there's mine.
I have mine. These will be featured at the conference again. The robot animals are just really neat. They purr, they roll over, they give you their paw, they wag their tail. They're soft and cuddly. And although we don't want people to think they replace a real animal, because nothing replaces this, but to have the comfort and joy of petting them and listening to them is so awesome. I walked away with some headphones that my husband can use to watch TV because I can't handle the noise. The amount of technology that I learned about that I was able to bring back home and utilize was exciting. From my husband's standpoint, he learned so much about dementia that he really didn't understand. That was an important aspect for us as well. What about you, JR? In addition to the fun and meeting everybody, what are you excited about?
Well, like you, first of all, I got to see people beyond that little window. And that was so exciting to see people that ended up being just giving beautiful bear hugs. And I'd never realized just how tall they are, to meeting someone with the biggest heart and to realize she was a little bitty nothing, but all that joy. So that excited me. I got to also say that, being the last convention was my first, and to learn so many different topics about doctors' viewpoints, how we treat behavioral changes, how dementia is different between different cultures and ethnic groups. I mean, just so much information was shared. The Tech Expo was phenomenal. And the art that was there was just absolutely beautiful. Who knew that so many of my friends who are living with dementia actually had such great talent? So it was just an amazing experience. I went with my mom, and my mom, I've got to tell you, she is my care partner, but she stood up at the end there, which is something she doesn't do. And she cried and shared that she had learned more in those couple of days than she had in all the reading she's done. She really got to understand what it's like to live with dementia and have a better understanding what I'm going through. And she's been a far stronger support system for it. So it was just an unbelievable experience for both of us. And what I really liked was the last minute, the person who showed up last minute, because they were struggling with a father, a husband who had just gone through a terrible moment with his dementia and just acting out, and they weren't sure who to go to for help, and someone suggested they go to the conference, and they came
Awesome.
out of it smiling and feeling so much more supported. They came out of it hugging everybody. It was so special to see what their joy was from it, and that they better understood what father and dad or father and husband were going through. So I would do it again and again. It's an experience worth doing.
Well, we certainly all enjoyed meeting your mom. We've really grown to adore your mom. To me, one of the other really fascinating things was we all had these pins that said, "I'm living with dementia." And we'd wear them throughout the conference. I was amazed how many times care partners or care professionals, people within the dementia community, not necessarily living with dementia, would walk up to me and say, "Can I ask you some questions?"
Mhm.
And having these little pins saying I had dementia made it easy for them to pick me out. They'd just sit and talk and say, "Well, my husband does this," or "I do this in our residential care home. Is it right? What do you think?" And in fact, one night I met a couple other people that were from the conference, and we stood outside talking until 2 a.m. It was rough at the conference the next day, but just full of questions where they were so interested in getting the feedback from people living with dementia. And all of us were open to, yeah, go ahead, ask me questions. I walked away feeling so, I don't know, just really excited and energized that I was able to help so many people that were there to learn answers, because they learned from the people that experience it. And that was really neat.
For me, well, I've got to tell you, the big thing was I'm so often used to hearing you don't look like you have dementia from people. But there, when you walked around with that pin, people treated you kindly and with respect. They understood that you might have limitations, but that you had a lot to give too. And it made the difference. It made me feel valued and valuable.
Mhm.
I needed that. It was a much needed uplift for me.
Absolutely. I agree with that. It was kind of neat to the way people would still say, "I never would have thought you had dementia. Tell
Mhm.
me what it's like."
Yes.
To be able to share our story and what it is like. Yeah, we have a lot of challenges. We have some hard times, but we're living and we're experiencing life. That was just really, really neat to be able to share that story so many times. Um, I think when I look back at the knowledge that we came away with, the bonds, the friendships. I mean, we were already friends, but boy, after giving somebody a hug, you're really friends. The friendships, the networking. I still have people from the conference 3 years ago that are in residential communities
Mhm.
that email me and ask me questions, or that I correspond with. That is so, I don't know, it's just so uplifting and wonderful
Yeah.
all the way around to be involved. I
Being
would
being a part of the conference has made a difference in my life. Um, and it wasn't all serious. Some of it was a lot of just fun and laughing, joking, and just enjoying company. And some of it was very educational. Some of it was just being human. understanding that we all struggle with difficulties, whether we have dementia or not, but that we're all human and we all need the same love and care. We all need to be treated as as brother and sister. It's not treating us differently. I have a life to live. I met another person living with dementia who cooks, is an artist, and those are the skills that he built up after his diagnosis.
Mm,
So, I want to live, and I gained that from the convention.
absolutely. And the fun, was that talent show a hoot or what? I'm so glad they're doing the talent show again. That was so much fun. And to be able to get together and laugh so hard. I mean, not all of them were funny. Some of them were really pretty fantastic. But all in all, just having the time, people from all aspects of the dementia community coming together and just really breaking loose and having a great time. Boy, we need those fun times, don't we, JR?
We do, we do. And we need to know that people are being really educated, leaving this convention. Professionals in the field are able to leave with a better understanding. They're able to take it back to their offices and be able to handle new cases of diagnosis and be able to treat those people better because of the experience.
I'm excited about the Technology Expo this year. That they're going to have a smart mirror there. Have you ever seen a smart mirror?
I haven't seen one, but I'm kind of curious about, they're going to break it down into rooms. They're talking about a living room, a bathroom, and different rooms where technology can be used to help an individual living with a cognitive disorder. That's phenomenal. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like.
I know. And not only that, the rooms are going to have safety tips in them as well.
Really?
Yeah. So like get rid of the throw rugs. They're a hazard to me. And yeah, they're going to have safety tips and technology. I mean, wow. How awesome
Nice.
is that?
Very
Oh, they're probably going to give away another pin
nice.
and add it to my collection,
Add it to your collection.
Uh,
Yep. Lots of pins were collected that year.
yeah.
So
The I'm not sure all the technology companies that are going to be there and all the technology that's going to be represented this year, quite frankly, because I don't remember and I should, but I know it's a really nice lineup. And it's going to be exciting to see it as it fits into a home setting. That's really going to be
and I know that
awesome.
that DAA has worked so hard to make this an exceptional experience for everyone. So I'm really anxious to see how it all comes together and just how it differs, because there's no two conventions that are exactly the same.
Mm-mm.
And so I can't wait to see how they grow it out this time.
Did you hear about the activities center?
No, tell me.
They're going to have an arts and entertainment center where you
Yes.
can try all kinds of neat and exciting activities that are meant to stimulate people living with dementia and their communities. I even heard somebody's going to be showing how to do coffee painting.
I've seen one individual in our groups that has done coffee painting, and they're amazing. Who knew that you could paint with coffee?
I personally, I'd rather drink it, I think, but I've seen them. They're phenomenal, and they're going to have little pouches you can take away so you can do it at home. It's going to be all kinds of artwork, photography, drawings, all kinds of artwork by people living with dementia is going to be there so you can view it and maybe even buy some of it.
Very cool.
And also just helping give care partners or care professionals ideas on this is how you can stimulate people living with dementia and give them new and fresh ideas. And these are ideas that have been proven by people living with dementia, so we know they work.
For those of you who are listening to us and watching, the two of us get to bring our care partners back to be interviewed to just talk in the last day about what it's like to be care partner and person living with dementia. So you'll get to meet my mother again, and that'll be a wonderful opportunity to hear both sides of the story and to be able to understand how we work together, not separately.
Absolutely. The strategies, and I know, talking to you and your mom, coming up with strategies on how we work together and support each other as partners, not a caregiver, but a care partner. That's such an important aspect of my life, JR. Don't you think yours too?
Absolutely.
Just
Absolutely.
being able to work together.
Makes
And
the difference.
also, I think what that does is, by him working with me, it helps me to remain a little bit more independent, because instead of
Absolutely.
taking away my independence, he's helping me build it. I shouldn't be sharing this because this is supposed to be what we talk about that day, huh?
Yeah, we got to be careful. We share too much. They'll already have heard what we're going to talk about. I want to remind folks that right below in the comment section, ask your questions. We'll be sure to answer them. So, Laurie, you've been involved in the planning committee. Can you share with me about the Thrive Technology Center? Is that what you're talking about with the expo?
Yeah, and I just realized, JR, we didn't tell anybody how to find out more info. I think maybe we should do that.
Ah,
If you're interested in more information on the conference and you want all the details, you can go to daanow.org conference, and that'll give you all the information you need. And that's where you can register as well. So that's daanow.org. And you can actually read about all the different things like the Thrive Center and all these fun things that we're offering.
you can also find it right on the Facebook page. If you're watching this through Facebook, you can find a link there as well that'll lead you right back to the conference page. So there are lots of ways to get there.
Absolutely. Boy, what else can I tell you about? I'm afraid I kind of jumped in and said a lot about the Thrive Center, but I'll give you a little bit more. The Thrive Center is an innovative center for aging solutions, and CDW, the official technology sponsor of the Thrive Center, are partnering together to offer this tech expo for the Living Well with Dementia conference. The Thrive Center is known around the world for its interactive and hands-on multimedia experience of technologies and other innovative, it popped up, and it's startling, and other innovative solutions. So it really is, it's going to be awesome. You can kind of see there from the pictures. It is set up like a home. And then within that home, they talk about the variety of different technologies that you can use from one room to another. I made the mistake in another interview of saying that we were going to have a live robot there. I guess the robot isn't live, but when you see some of the current robot technology, you almost think they're alive. It's going to be very exciting to see all the different technology that's being representative and being able to have hands-on interaction where you can actually touch the things, try them, kind of like the museums for kids, the touchy-feely. Well, you get to do that. You get to try it and see how you like it and how it feels and how easy it is. Or if you have questions, somebody's going to be right there to answer those questions for you. That is awesome.
Is it really going to be 3,700 square feet?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of technology.
It is. That's like, yeah, it's going to be so awesome. And oh man, the amount of planning that's gone into this, but at the end, seeing how much everybody learns and being a part of it makes it every minute worth it. Yeah. Do we have any questions here yet? No questions yet?
I'll jump on here, Laurie. I don't see any questions quite ready yet in the comments section, but I think that might be because you guys are doing such a great job of answering everything as we go. One thing that I will bring people back to that both of you already mentioned is the DAA webpage. And so this here is where you can find conference information up in our main menu bar. We've got more information about the hotel where the event is taking place. That page you saw just a little bit ago about the Tech Home Expo. And then this page that I was just on, which is the program and schedule. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that this is here because there's some really neat information about some of the specific speakers that we'll have present at the conference, people that are presenting. And then also, if you go here, we have a little bit of a draft of what you can expect in the day-to-day of the conference. And so this has, you know, some of the more specific schedule for the event. So for anyone who's already registered or maybe trying to figure out what exactly people will be doing at this conference, I would, again, like Laurie and JR said, encourage you to go to daanow.org/conference and all that information is available there.
I think
Drew,
the biggest challenge will be not anything to do with getting there, because I think if you want to go there, you should. But the biggest challenge will be figuring out which concurrent rooms you want to go and visit to hear the latest news. I couldn't choose last year. I mean, I wanted to go to both events at the same time. So,
right.
You know, that's the challenge.
Maybe next time we can figure out a way to add on a day or two to get more content in.
Drew, if you want to pull that back up a minute, there's a few of those that I'd really like to I'd like to point out in our past few conferences, we had plenary discussions with panelists living with dementia, and they were without a doubt some of the most popular events we had. This is where you'll have an opportunity to hear from people living with dementia on various topics of how it impacts us. To me, the biggest shocker to people was how we are typically treated by the neurologist when we're diagnosed, and people just couldn't believe the way it's presented to us. So this is your opportunity to hear a panel of people living with dementia talk about a variety of things. Living alone with dementia. Well, I don't live alone. I have a husband that I've had for 40 years, and I might keep him another year or so, but no, I'm kidding. I'll keep him a long time. But living with dementia alone, I hear people talk about this so often. I don't have a care partner. I live alone. And we're going to have an opportunity to share things with people about that. Let's see. JR, what ones are you excited? Oh, humans and horses. I heard they're not going to have a real horse, though. I was kind of hoping we'd have a horse there that we could go ride around the conference center, but I heard that's not going to happen. But
well,
JR, what ones are you excited about?
As you can see at 2:00, we have the Living Well at Home, the Power of Care, and that's about that team approach. That's real important to me. There's a pathwell of well-being. Have you noticed the word well-being keeps coming up for DAA? It's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm so happy.
That's exciting. Keynote Day 2, Global Council of Alzheimer's Disease and DAA Diversity Project. Wow. There's your memory, art, and aging. I'm going to be in the art room if I can. So just some tremendous things going on. I'm just so excited. I'm looking at all of this and developing a dementia self-management guidebook in partnership with people living with dementia, Dementia Friendly Nevada. We have worked really hard on developing some material that shows people how to do it, how to live well, how to manage their medications, their doctors, their final affairs, everything, and still continue to live life. So more to be said on that. advanced planning, listen, sing, and dance. You
Hmm.
know, I will be really interested to see how that goes. I'm not a movement person, but I love watching other people move and swing about.
I would be out there on the dance floor. I must admit, that's where I would be.
So,
Laurie, JR, we do have one question in. Vicky, I see your question about the submitting a photograph. I'll have to check on that for you and make sure one way or the other, but I assume we can do something about it. Just keep an eye on your Facebook at that comment, and we'll reply with a typed response to you here soon. And so, yeah, I appreciate that. And Lynn, I'm appreciate you sharing your experience too. And we agree that it's important to have some humor as a part of this too. Like Laurie and JR said, I don't know how you guys find time to both, talk about all this content and material to learn, and also this deeply personal experience of networking and seeing people that you may not have seen for several years. I mean, that's really an impressive balance to make, right?
I think we work together. I mean,
Mhm.
it's this one I encourage Laurie encourages me, I encourage somebody else. I mean, it's just this interconnectedness that just builds on that energy and keeps us going.
Jackie always says we're a village, and I agree. I think within the DAA group, we just support each other and encourage each other. I
Mhm.
thought of something, JR, that we didn't mention that for people living with dementia is important, and that is the breakout room or the quiet room.
Ah, yes.
Going to a conference and being around all these people and all the emotions of and joy of meeting JR in person for the first time and just all the excitement, it also can cause some anxiety. And we
Yes.
know that. Just trying to find your way in the hotel and find your way to the room, it can cause a bit of stress and anxiety. In order to help with that, we have a quiet room for people living with dementia
Mhm.
where you can go. It's on the same floor as the conference, but really in a little nook and cranny all by itself where it is quiet. Purpose of that is if you just say, I can't take all these people anymore, I can't take this stress, or I'm feeling stressed out, you don't have to go sit in your room by yourself. You can go to the quiet room. In there, we usually have like a blanket and a few little games or stuff and some drinks. And so you can sit and chill out for as long as you need. So for people that are saying, I don't know if I can handle going to a conference, or gee, I'd love to go, but I'm not sure that my family member living with dementia would be able to handle it. Don't let that stop you. DAA is focused on people living with dementia, and therefore we are going to make every plan that we can to make sure you have a comfort zone.
Glad you said that, Laurie. That's really important. I know I took advantage of the room a couple of times last time, and it was such a relief to go to someplace where the noise stopped. With my particular type of dementia, I'm high in anxiety, and the noise can really start to work on you. But I could stop it just for a moment, and that way I could get back into the groove of everything else and enjoy myself afterwards.
It's also kind of nice for people living with dementia because we could have a quiet conversation with somebody else living with dementia if we wanted to. We didn't want to talk, that was fine. But it was a way for us to have a little quiet place and just re-energize time, let our heads re-energize. Because we are often slower processing things. As we're listening to a speaker and the speaker's up here, we're still back here playing catch up, and our brain is running all day long. It gets us tired, it gets us worn out. So quiet room's important. I also love the tape on the floor.
I was wondering if they were going to do that this year again.
Not as
That's
much tape
wonderful.
on the floor, but we are going to have some tape on the floor. Why don't you talk about the tape on the floor, JR?
Oh my gosh. You can't get lost. It's absolutely impossible. Even with dementia, you can't get lost. Just follow the tape. follow the tape from the elevator. If you're using an elevator, you follow the tape from room to room, and you're okay. And so, what a blessing, especially being in an unfamiliar environment.
And I love the signs. I mean, typically you go to a hotel and you have this little sign that says ladies' room. And you walk right past it a couple times. DA had these big signs that said ladies' room, which at times was important to know. The people. We've got like people just hanging out all over the place, waiting to help. So you
Yes.
want to know where a room is? I can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Flag one of us down. And if you're there at this convention, flag one of us personally down. We'll be flag me down. I'm more than willing to accept anybody coming up to me and saying hello. My mom will be willing to say hello. That's what it's all about. So, make a connection. And if you need help, just tell me. I'll give you the helping hand that you need.
absolutely. I think that was, if I don't know the answer, I'll find someone who does, but we'll
That's
get you in
right.
the right place.
That's right. That's right. And Vicky, I see your comment again on here that says, how important it is to make sure everything's well marked. It sounds like we're all talking, singing from the same hymnal, we'll say on that. So I definitely agree with that. So, Laurie, JR, anything to close us out here now? I know we've been going for about half an hour here, and we'll have this conversation available on the Facebook page recorded for anybody to watch who maybe joined later in on the conversation and wants to watch more of the beginning, or wants to make sure that this information stays available to them. Again, this is September 19th through the 21st in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're gathering for the DAA Living Well with Dementia Conference. Any closing thoughts, Laurie, JR, before we wrap this up today?
Because I've commented a few times on the post right down here, I want to remind people that if you still have questions, even after we leave this recording, by all means, post your questions. Let one of us know that you're in need of an answer, and we'll do our best to try to get that answer to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel like you already lost that opportunity. That's what this is all about. We're here for you.
I think my closing comment would be, wow, this is a place where you can go to learn about a multitude of aspects of dementia: diversity, arts, engagement, technology, living well, care partnering, just education, and also fun, excitement, networking, and an opportunity to directly ask questions of other people in your field or people living with dementia, or just ask the whole room, hey, what do you think of this? Somebody will answer it at some point. It's such a fabulous opportunity to really learn about dementia and how you can improve whatever dementia circumstance you're in.
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, thanks again to everyone who was able to join us today. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, JR. Really just invaluable to hear your perspectives from past conferences and what you're most looking forward to. And yeah, I hope everyone was able to watch this and learn a little something new, and at the very least, gain some excitement for the event upcoming in September. So great to be here with you all, and we'll see you all next time.
Hope to see you there.
Thank you.